Hi, today's video is an updated inventory video, and I try to do these twice a year, at the very beginning of the year, and then I try to get them out at the very beginning of July, but I'm a few weeks late this time. Really quickly, I wanted to explain how I count things. And so eyeshadow singles I count as their own product, but I also do that with eyeshadow palettes. And so an eyeshadow palette counts as one, and then an eyeshadow single counts as one. And I will have a section where I count the total amount of pans so we can see how that changes over time. I count travel sizes or deluxe sizes as its own. If it's going to take me a few weeks to finish, then I count it as its own product. I don't really count samples, but I don't really have a lot of samples or get them, so it doesn't really matter to me. And lastly, for palettes and duos, I will count those each as their own product. So if I have a Charlotte Tilbury face palette with a highlighter, a bronzer, and 2 blushes, I count those as 4 different things within their respective category. Like always, I go in the order of eyes, lips, face, and I'll be comparing the numbers today, what they currently are to what they were at the beginning of the year. First up, we have brow products, and I had 1 gel and 5 pencils at the beginning of the year. I still have that same eyebrow gel from Essence and 4 of the 5 pencils. I believe I finished the CoverGirl one a month or so ago. And I like the assortment that I have. I typically go for taupe pencils, and it seems like a lot of brands are coming out with micro brow pencils again. I think I just saw one from Rare Beauty, and I like the ones I have, but it is something that I kind of just try. Whenever I'm running low on pencils, I'll grab a couple more from other brands. Same with the next category, eyeliners. I had 6 last time, and I now have 3. The 2 pencils are from Essence. I just really like that formula. And then the middle one is a pen from ColourPop. That one's getting up there in age, so I probably won't make it to the end of the year. There are a few brands that I would like to try their eyeliner pencils from. I think Victoria Beckham, I hear really great things about those eyeliner pencils in particular. So I don't even have a black eyeliner pencil currently. I just have that dark brown one, and I really like it. I think I prefer brown for a day-to-day basis, but I do like having a black liner, so that's something that's kind of missing in my collection right now. The next one, this category has not changed for years. It's the same 2 eyeshadow primers. I have a glitter primer from NYX and an eyeshadow primer from Ulta Beauty. I'm slowly working through the glitter primer. I'm just using it every day as a regular eyeshadow primer. And once I finish that one, I'll probably buy something else to replace it. Yeah, these take forever to go through. I think I've already used the NYX glitter primer like over 250 times, and I'm still not done with it. Next with mascaras. This one, I don't really have a ton of mascaras, but they do rotate pretty regularly because I like to use a mascara for 3 or 4 months and then consider it finished and move on to something else. And I do like buying the minis when I can. So I have 3 minis in a full size. I'm currently wearing the Man Eater from Tarte, and then I have a mini from Charlotte Tilbury, and then another one from M Cosmetics. And then I just purchased this mascara from What's Up Beauty. They just launched it, and I really like what the bristle looks like, and so I wanted to try it because I do like those types of bristles. So I have that now, and I had 4 mascaras last time. I have 4 now, but you'll see that 2 of them are different this time because I've been switching them out. Next up is eyeshadow palettes. I didn't realize that the number had gone down, but it does make sense. I did declutter some eyeshadow palettes that were getting very old. Some of the oldest eyeshadows in my collection, and the formula just wasn't performing the same. I did receive 2 palettes in PR. I bought one from LH Cosmetics, that quad in the center there. And then I did do a declutter video where I went through all of my ColourPop palettes that had all the same size magnetic pans. I took them all out, and then I just saved the ones that I wanted to keep, and I created like my perfect palette. That's the one in the top left corner there. So I had 18 palettes at the beginning of the year, and now I have 15. For eyeshadow singles, the number has gone up. I haven't purchased any new singles, but I did save 2 from the ColourPop singles from that video I was just talking about. They were just like staple matte shadows that I thought I would still want to reach for or have whenever I'm building my own palette, so I did hold on to them. At the beginning of the year I had 43, I now have 45. I did mention in my most recent whole collection declutter that I will be doing a dedicated video going through and decluttering my eyeshadow singles. Some of them are just incredibly old. Some of them are from brands that don't even exist anymore, and I just really need to go through and make sure that I'm only keeping the ones that are special, that I want to keep, that I think adds something unique to my collection. When you look at total amount of pans, because of how many I've decluttered and pared down over the last 6 months, I started with 236 shadows at the beginning of the year. I now have 207 shadows. Now we're on to the face category. I wanted to start with highlighters. I had 14 at the beginning of the year. I have finished quite a few. I finished a mini Becca highlighter. I finished the Merit cream highlighter. I decluttered the Essence highlighter, and then I did bring in a new face palette that had a highlighter in it. If you look closely at that Film Star Bronze and Glow highlighter in the top center, that is the highlighter that I'm actively panning right now. So the pan has gotten a lot bigger. This is a little sneak peek into my next project pan update. So I imagine that one will be done at the end of the year. Maybe one of the minis from Becca. Maybe that Milani highlighter, that liquid highlighter. I don't imagine this category getting a lot bigger, but there are a few liquid highlighters out there I'd be interested in trying, and I am preferring liquid and cream highlighters over powder nowadays, but I do still have some really beautiful formulas. So I still wear powder highlighter on a regular basis. I'm just not wearing nearly as much as I used to. Next category has gotten bigger. Even though I finished 2 blushes this year, my inventory of blushes has still gone up 2. The new blushes I brought in, you can see, are on the right side of the Q3 2023 photo. And there are 2 blushes from the Charlotte Tilbury Lovegasm palette, 2 blushes from a Linda Hallberg duo, and then a cream blush from, again, Charlotte Tilbury. But I did declutter one of my Essence blushes. I finished the mini Hourglass blush, and I finished Luminoso. So I finished or decluttered 3, and I brought in 5. In my declutter video, I did go through and swatch the majority of my blushes, and I was really glad to see that there wasn't a big overlap in colors and formulas. Like, each one is different and it brings its own thing to the table. And unless I'm actively panning a blush, I am really good at rotating and changing out the color to go better with the rest of my look, sometimes mixing blushes together. So even though maybe there was a time when I would have felt a little overwhelmed with this amount of blushes, I don't anymore. I don't currently, just because they are varied enough, and I love blush. I wear multiple blushes every single day, and it's just a category that makes me really happy. I love trying new formulas. There are other blushes out there I would love to bring into my collection, so if I want to buy more, I will. I'm not holding myself back. Next one is bronzers. This one has gone down. I finished the Nabla bronzer and the Bare Minerals bronzer. I decluttered the Bahama Mama bronzer, and then I did bring in that face palette from Charlotte Tilbury, which does have 1 bronzer in it. Oh, I also finished the contour one from Charlotte Tilbury. For a long time, I wasn't really interested in bringing in new bronzers and trying new formulas. Just something about that wasn't very appealing to me, and I don't know if it's because it's the summertime now or what, but there are a lot of brands that are coming out with really beautiful formulas that I've been hearing great things about that I would like to try. So I imagine this category will get a little bit bigger. Again, I'm not really holding myself back. But I'm not going to go out and like triple the amount of bronzers that I own just because I feel like it. I am pretty strategic about how many I bring in at once. The next one has changed a ton. I had 9 face powders at the beginning of the year. I now have 6. I finished the Charlotte Tilbury one, the Too Faced Peach Perfect one. Both of those e.l.f. powders, one was a pressed and one was a loose powder, and then that Kosas powder. And then I did bring in 2 more Besame powders. While there are some face powders on the market that I would like to try, I am finding that I just always go back to the RCMA one. That's actually my second container. I finished an entire thing, 85 grams of powder previously, and then I missed it enough to bring it back in, even though I had a lot of powders already. So I think that just kind of shows that that is the type of powder that I prefer, those lightweight HD powders. Something about the RCMA one is just really good at setting down my makeup, getting rid of that like oily look, but not making me look too dry. It doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look like anything on the skin. I just always go back to it, and so part of me doesn't really feel like I need to try those other ones. So yeah, I'm very happy with the Besame powders and the RCMA powders. Those are tried and true products that I've worn for years, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to let myself go out and try another one if there's a formula or something about a powder out there that interests me. The next category has changed quite a bit as well. I had 14 concealers and color correctors at the beginning of the year, and I now have 10. Everything on the left side of that second photo is stuff that I currently have, and then the 4 concealers on the right side of that photo are things that I've brought in since then. And so I finished 7, I think I finished 7 concealers and color correctors since the beginning of the year. That ColourPop concealer that was still in the packaging, that was brand new, I did give that away to somebody who wanted it. And then I did bring in a white concealer from LA Girl. I've been using that as a foundation mixer. Yeah, it's just a really nice addition to my collection, even though it's not like technically an under eye concealer that I use in that way. I think I'm good on color correctors. I don't think I need to buy any more of those. I think I might try to buy the green Exa color corrector as a foundation mixer. That Hourglass one that I bought, I have mentioned it before, I don't really like it. I think it's a bit dry and heavy. I don't know. I wore it in a slightly different way today, and I do like it a lot better this way, so I might have found a way to make it work. But I'm so glad that Kosas came out with minis of their concealers, because that was one of my favorite concealers that I'd tried in a long time. But because of the formula, it does tend to expire really quickly, and so I was hesitant to purchase another one after I finished my original one, because I just worried that it would go to waste. But now that they sell it in minis, I'm really glad to see that, and I definitely picked one up. I don't think they sell the full shade range in minis just yet, but I'm hoping they expand that really soon. Wow, the next category has changed so much. I was very surprised when I was taking photos earlier today. I didn't realize how much it had changed. I had 7 foundations at the beginning of the year. I finished 4 of them. No, I finished 3 of them, and then that Charlotte Tilbury foundation that was still in the box, I think I got that as like a gift with purchase or something. And I ended up giving that away again to someone who really wanted it. And so I finished 3, decluttered 1, and I now have 3 left. And that It Cosmetics CC cream is almost empty. It's mostly air, so that one likely won't be in the next update. I'm really glad to see my foundation collection go down this much. I was able to finish a lot of them before they expired, and now I have room in my collection to go out and try some other formulas. There are so many fun foundations out there, so many new brands and formulas, and I just am really excited to explore in this category. I love trying new foundations. I love mixing together formulas and finding like the best way to wear them, how to sheer them down, how to build up the coverage, etc. I am considering doing something like a foundation review series where I take one foundation and I try it out in lots of different ways, and I take really thorough notes, and I do kind of like a best and worst series, but I dedicate one video to each foundation. I don't have anything specifically planned for that just yet, but it is something I'm excited to try, and I feel much better doing that, bringing in new foundations, knowing that I don't have like a million foundations open and currently expiring in my collection. This next category has not changed, but it will change next time because it's almost finished. I have 1 powder foundation from Makeup Revolution, and I do really like this foundation, but I've been wearing it a lot more recently in an effort to work it out of my collection. I would like to try the Fenty powder foundation, and then I likely would repurchase this one too. So if anyone knows of any really good powder foundation formulas out there, let me know. I am looking to explore not only with liquid foundations, but with powder foundations too. Primers has changed so drastically too, even though the number hasn't changed. I had 7 at the beginning of the year, and I have 7 again. I was able to work my way through 5 primers in the last 6 months. Most of them were almost empty or minis, and so not exactly like the hardest thing to do, but I am really proud of that. So I only have 2 primers from my original 7 at the beginning of the year, and then I did receive 5 primers in PR, and I am glad to have a variety of different types of primers. I think that's going to really help me create very thorough content for that foundation series that I want to do in the future. The next one is setting sprays. This one hasn't changed as much. I had 6 at the beginning of the year. I did finish 2 of them. I gave away the mini Milani one because that was still sealed and unopened. And I'm almost finished with the ColourPop one. I'm almost finished with the e.l.f. Coconut and the All Nighter. I did bring in one from LH Cosmetics, and then I did get a Besame setting spray as a gift with purchase. Setting sprays, again, are another category where I do have 1 or 2 that I really like, but that doesn't stop me from wanting to explore and try out other formulas. There are so many mattifying, oil control setting sprays out there that I'm just itching to try, so you know, I might be purchasing some more to try them. I'm considering doing a best and worst setting spray video, and I pit them head to head to see which one I think is the best, just like I did with my best and worst color corrector video that came out at the end of last year. So I see this category growing, but this is a category that I wear every day. I love setting spray. I have heard some people say that they don't wear them as much, but for me, it's like a necessity. So for lip liners, I don't know exactly if I miscalculated. I believe I did, because it says I have 13 lip liners, but I don't have them all pictured. I know I finished that purple Urban Decay lip liner on the left side. I know I finished the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner on the right side. And I know I finished 2 NYX Slide On Glide On lip liners in Nude Suede Shoes and Sugar Glass. I don't remember what the 5th one was. All that to say, today I have 8 lip liners. They're all from NYX, all from the same line. I love these. I wear lip liner every day. For the most part, I'm really content with the formula from the NYX line, and they do have a lot of different colors. If this category grows, it'll likely be because maybe I try 1 or 2 from a new brand I'm curious about, or I just pick up more shades from the NYX Slim Lip Pencil line. Lipsticks has changed quite a bit. I have been really adamant about finishing quite a few of my lipsticks, and then I did go through and declutter a handful of ones that just were not working for me, that I just wasn't happy with. For the most part, I can make makeup products work. Like, if the formula's a little off, I can find a way to repurpose it or mix it with something else. Just any way to make sure that I'm not just putting it to waste. But lip products, I have a lot more trouble doing that with, and sometimes they just cannot be salvaged. And so I did declutter a few. I used up quite a few as well. And so I went from 24 lipsticks down to 18. This category might grow a little bit. Honestly, I just really love trying a lot of the new formulas out there. Same with lip glosses, which I'll talk about in a minute. I would like to do Litmus again this year. Last year I featured 31 different lip products, one new one every day in the month of December. I don't know if I'll do all 31. I might just do 25 this year, but who knows. I'm definitely open to exploring. Next one for lip glosses, I did declutter those 2 Merit lip oils, and then I finished the Milani gloss, 2 of the Charlotte Tilbury lip baths, and then I brought in a lip gloss from Lisa Eldridge and a lip gloss, well, I don't know if it's a lip gloss or like a lip balm, I don't remember, but it's a lip gloss type of product from Rare Beauty. That's actually the one I'm wearing today. I love lip glosses. I do have some favorites, but I also love trying new formulas, and I do make sure that I'm rotating and using my oldest ones so that they don't expire. Okay, liquid lipsticks. Let's talk about this for a second, because if I had filmed this video like a few months ago, I would have said that this is a category that will eventually go extinct in my collection. And the numbers are gradually being worked down. I decluttered one of my red liquid lipsticks. I used 2 of those mini liquid lipsticks as cream blushes, and that's what I'm doing with the Nabla liquid lipstick currently. I really did think that I would eventually work through these 3 liquid lipsticks and then not have any more in my collection, but a lot of brands are coming out with liquid lipsticks again. I guess I'm just forgetting that makeup trends and makeup preferences and formulas are somewhat cyclical. Lisa Eldridge just released a new line of liquid lipsticks. A couple of other brands have done that too. For the most part, I wouldn't say I'm super interested in trying more of those formulas, but never say never. So who's to say? Maybe liquid lipsticks will have a comeback in my personal makeup preferences. I'm not optimistic, but it's always a possibility. This next one though, I do think will go extinct, which was surprising to me. And again, if I had filmed this video a few months ago, I would have had the opposite opinion. But I'm just gradually moving away from tinted lip balms. So I only have one left from NYX. I do still love this lip balm. I can't even tell you how many of these I've gone through over the last 6 or 7 years. I love these. They're $5. There's a ton of product in there. But I find that whenever I want something moisturizing, I do tend to go for a really comfortable lipstick or a lip gloss. You'll also notice that a lot of the lipsticks from the lipstick part of my collection were more balmy. They were more moisturizing and hydrating. And so I am gonna reach for something like that over just a regular tinted lip balm. There is one from Lawless that I would be interested in trying, but I'm trying to figure out if it's minty or not, because I don't really like minty stuff. Again, never say never, but there is a possibility that this category might disappear altogether. Now let's look at the numbers. If you look at this quarter and the beginning of the year, I have gone down in every section overall, which is good. This year kind of is like a panning year for me. I'm trying to focus on what I have, work out the oldest products, and that way I can make room for all the new things that I'm eager to try and test out. And over the past 2.5 years, I've sort of floated around the 200 mark, always having just a little bit over 200 total makeup products in my collection. And for the first time in a long time, I'm now below 200 products. I have 178 makeup products in my collection currently. Let's look at the in and out comparison just to get a better idea of how this number came to be. I did bring in 29 new makeup products this year, and when I say brought in, it's a mixture of things I've purchased myself, things I've gotten as gifts with purchase, and things I've received in PR. I did declutter 14 products, and then I did finish 54 products so far this year, which is unheard of. I've never finished that many products in one go in such a short amount of time. I had 217 makeup products at the beginning of the year. I now have 178, and that means I am down 39 makeup products net. So that was it. That was every category of my makeup, all of my makeup inventory broken down. It seems like a lot of people are doing inventory updates right now, and these are some of my favorite videos to watch. It's just fun to get like a little peek into what everybody else has going on in their collections. I will try to link some more inventory update videos in the description box. And if there are any other ones, or if you have filmed one, please let me know and I'll add that to the list as well. But in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video.